Hello everybody and welcome back to the Import Export Hub channel. Your host Bogdan for the next 10-12 agonizing minutes. I hope you're all doing great and that you are ready to find out what my one-of-a-kind and famous crystal ball is saying about what to export towards Indonesia, as it provided 5 products that are really worth exporting towards Indonesia. But now, joke aside, guys, let's take a look at the 5 products worth exporting towards Indonesia, as I was saying previously. And as usual, I've compiled here an Excel file in order to see together the trading partners, the volumes involved, and the main drivers. Unfortunately, I won't provide the consumer-related product as I was saying in this video. So without further ado, guys, let's take a look at my first recommendation, which is coming from heading 4707, so paper or paperboard recovered waste and scrap, which I think that it will gain momentum in the years to follow. And we see here that Indonesia's largest partners are the United States, from which it imported some $160 million in 2021. It was followed by Australia, and we have on the third spot Italy with some $116 million. But of course, there are other important partners like, I don't know, the United Kingdom, Japan, or Spain, to name a couple from this top 10 list. If in the 2017-2020 time frame the values were somehow on a downward trend, in 2021 this exploded, so to say, and we have a 110% increase in relative terms, some $485 million in absolute ones, which brings the total imports to some $923 million. As we can see here, all top 10 trading partners had positive changes year on year. The largest increase here happening in relation with Australia, at least in absolute terms, who in 2021 exported with some $114.7 million more than the previous year, so big business. As for the main driver, well, unfortunately, guys, we don't have a complex structure for this heading, and we see that for both the United States and Italy, subheading 470710 drove most of the exports towards Indonesia from this heading. Moving now to my second recommendation, we have here heading 9018, so instruments and appliances used in medical, dental, or veterinary sciences. Overall, we see that the total imports amounted to $645 million, a slight decrease from the previous year, with China here, Germany, and the United States as the main trading partners, followed by, I don't know, Japan, South Korea, Austria, or Italy, again, to name a couple from this top 10 list. Relative to the year-on-year changes, as I've said previously, the imports shrunk some 8% in relative terms and $57.2 million in absolute ones, with the United States here registering the largest contraction, while South Korea, on the other hand, registered the largest expansion. And if I look closely, the results for both France and Italy are not far behind those of South Korea. In what concerns the main drivers, well, for both Germany and Malaysia, we have the same subheading, so 901890. Jumping really fast now to my third recommendation for you, I have another waste-related product, if you want. This time, ferrous waste and scrap from heading 7204. This is more volatile than the paper and paperboard subheading if you look at the trend, but nonetheless, we have here some interesting figures, with 2020 having the lowest point in this 5 years time frame. It seems that 2021 bounced back to the pre-pandemic levels, if you want, and I think that it will keep this momentum. And we see that in 2021 there were some $721 million worth of imports from this subheading, with Australia here, Hong Kong and Singapore as the main partners, followed by others like, I don't know, the United States, Thailand or Poland, again to name just a few from this top 10 list. Now, relative to the year-on-year changes, we have some 60% positive change, $271.5 million if I were to put a dollar value to the percentage, with almost all top 10 partners having positive figures, except here the United States and Malaysia, who had contractions, the latter exporting towards Indonesia with almost $22 million less than in the previous year. On the other side of the spectrum, Australia and Hong Kong had the biggest positive change, both with figures above the $80 million mark. As for the main import driver, again, sorry, not a complex structure for this heading, and we see that for both Australia and Thailand, subheading 720449 was the main one. Moving now, guys, to my fourth recommendation. We have here heading 0206, edible offal of bovine animal, sheep, swine, goats, and so on, fresh, chilled or frozen. Unfortunately, as you can see here, we don't have a lot of trading partners. I think that for this particular product, the Indonesian market is quite price sensitive, so that's why proximity plays a crucial role, as basically, I don't know, 76% of Indonesia's imports are done from Australia and New Zealand. I don't know, other big players from Central or South America like Mexico, Brazil, Argentina, Chile, Paraguay, and Uruguay, why not, don't have the same connectivity with Indonesia in terms of maritime transportation. And if I'm not mistaken, the only South American country from this list that has access to south of the Pacific Ocean is Chile. So what I'm trying to say here is that the exportability of a product or of a commodity is closely related to its connectivity in a shipping network. And usually north-south pendulums are less connected than the east-west ones. Anyways, in terms of the main import driver from both the United States and Spain, we have here subheading 020629. So we're talking about frozen edible bovine offal. And now, guys, finally, my fifth and last recommendation for you comes from heading 0701, fresh or chilled potatoes. And we see again a relative small number of trading partners. I think that, again, distance plays a crucial role here. And we have some $23.6 million worth of imports in 2021. With India, Germany, and Egypt as the main trading partners, followed by, I don't know, countries like Australia, the United Kingdom, or France. Again, just to name a couple, and we have only, I don't know, 8 players in 2021, as you can see. The main ones, I think, that increased their share at the expense of the smaller ones. India having a big contribution here, and I think that the trend will continue. With India, I don't know, I'm making an educated guess here, practically flooding the Indonesian market in terms of potatoes. Now, relative to the year-on-year changes, we have 34% positive change, some $6 million, so sorry, in absolute terms, with Germany here and Australia registering negative figures, while India, France, or Egypt registered figures that are positive. As for the main drivers from India, the main one was subheading 0190, so fresh or chilled potatoes, excluding potatoes for seed. While on the other hand, from the United Kingdom, we have seed potatoes, so subheading 070110. And now, guys, with this last product being also covered, that's all for this episode. I really hope that you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit whatever button you like below this video. And as usual, until next time, keep your business safe. Thanks.